I'm going to start as I mean to carry on. My landlady, she had 3 lovely daughters. They used to come and make my bed each day. And though they came into my living quarters, their mother made quite sure they didn't stay. There was Mary, she seemed cherry. There was Helen, she seemed well and truly skeptical about my qualities. There was Julie, she was truly well proportioned, but a caution brought exhaustion to my aching arteries. But I was wrong, they weren't at all impervious to the possibilities of high romance. And I sensed a certain girlish nerviness in the way they folded my pajama pants. And I was right all late one night, sweet little Mary, like a fairy, as I lay sleeping came a creeping to my side. She was mine, it was divine, but we were doomed, for pretty soon Mary came on and then she cried. Mary, go to bed. Off Mary went. Young man, Helen said, for your punishment, we mustn't have a fight, we mustn't start a row. Turn off the light, it's my turn now. Well, after all, I'm young and fairly vigorous, and though I still protest my innocence, by temperament I'm strictly unpolygamous, and if I sinned, I swear I sinned in self-defense. Nevertheless, I must confess I wouldn't miss that sort of bliss. When it ended, I was rendered comatose. And when loud and clear and very near into my ear a loud voice spoke, I was woken from my post-coital doze. Helen, go to bed. Helen went away. Young man Julius said, you'll have to pay. You blighted Helen's charms, you filched her purity. Open your arms, it's time to filch me. I was amazed and really rather tired. I thought I'd given everything that I could give. A little kip was all that I desired, but being British, my upper lip was stiff. She was chaotic, idiotic, quite exotic and ecstatic, acrobatic and emphatically mine. All to no good, for when I could open her eyes, to my surprise I found her mother's looking into mine. What's that noise? Julie, go to bed. Julie left the scene. Now listen, Ma, I said, I know the old routine. I'll do what you like, but I shall be vexed, and I'll bloody well go on strike if Grandma's next. Well, I was a bit of a lad, I admit. My past was a trifle shady, and then in the end I went right round the bend and married a tattooed lady. I immediately saw there were pictures galore down every available corner. As I studied her frame, very soon I became an expert in flora and fauna. On the back of each knee was a small chimpanzee, on a thigh was a knight of the garter. Just for a laugh they had put on each calf 8 bars of the Moonlight Sonata. Some things I found out I just won't talk about. I find they're inclined to embarrass. But I give you my word, though it may sound absurd, it was just like the Louvre in Paris. On one of her feet you were liable to meet a master of hounds in his habit, while right round her waist in impeccable taste was a python devouring a rabbit. Oh, I loved all the ships on one side of her hips, the view of Peru on the other, but I was struck dumb when I found on her bum a caricature of her mother. Now this was much more than a lad could endure, though I made the most earnest endeavours, and I scuttled away, and I'm happy to say was tat-tat-tattoo forever. tat-tat-tat-too forever. Oh, Sister Josephine, what do all these terrible policemen mean? Coming to the convent in your grim limousine after Sister Josephine. Oh, while you, Sister Josephine, you sit there with your boots upon the altar screen. You smoke one last big cigar. Oh, what a funny nun you are. The police say Sister Josephine is not a nun at all. Big bad lawman, 15 years on the run. Oh no, say all the other nuns, not Sister Josephine. Just think of all her tenderness towards the younger nuns. For you, Sister Josephine, you slip it through the fingers like Vaseline, leaving them to clutch your empty crinoline. Oh, Sister Josephine, oh, are you, Sister Josephine, sprinting through the suburbs when last seen, dressed only in your wimple and your rosary. A right funny nun you seem to be. This is a brand new song, okay? And it doesn't require a lot of attention because it's very short. But I learnt it from someone singing here about 2 months ago. A clever lady called Penny Morris. She's a folk singer. If you get a chance to see her, go and see her. She writes her songs, but she bases them on other people's music. So this is with an apology to Joni Mitchell. Summer holidays of charm, a campsite on a Dorset farm. Went on a shortcut to the barn, a cow got in my way. I tried to dodge, but then instead slipped on a cow pad, banged my head, ended up beneath her legs, and watched her udder sway. I've looked at cows from both sides now, seen from above, I don't mind a cow. They're fine above, try not to fall. Below you won't like cows at all. This is a song about a lady called Joyce. It was written by Richard Stilgar and Peter Skellern. Alright? It's in waltz time. Joyce, the librarian, strict vegetarian, 40 and living with Mum. Wears sandals and glasses, attends evening classes, wonders if romance will come. Though she's never been kissed, it's not something she'd miss until some weeks before, when George, a Rotarian, handsome Lotharian, walked through the library door. George was unmarried, and the torch that Joyce carried was burning a hole in her heart. She wanted to show him, didn't yet know him, didn't know how to start. So with growing abhorrence, she read D.H. Lawrence to glean a few ideas, which she turned down flat. She couldn't do that, not in 100 years. The very next day she kept out of the way when George returned his books. With growing conviction she wandered through fiction and gave him some knowing looks. When George joined the queue she knew just what to do. She smiled and removed her specs, then looked on in horror, 'cause he'd come to borrow the further joys of sex. Perhaps because latterly she'd read Lady Chatterley. Something just snapped in her head. She gave herself gladly, wildly and madly that night to George in his bed. But then just as she feared, our George disappeared, some other librarian to woo. Now there's a sob in her voice, as both Book and Joyce are a fortnight overdue. Give us a kiss, just one little kiss, sweet nurse, before you go. My hands are shaking, me nerve ends are aching, sweet nurse, I need it so. No, 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 I've got to go, I've got some work to do. I can't stay, there's other patients here, as well as you. Give us a kiss, just one little kiss, sweet nurse, I wish you would. My palms are itching, my arteries are twitching, sweet nurse, it would do me some good. No, 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 I've got to go, please don't think that I'm cool. I'm not snooty, I'm on duty, I mustn't break the rules. Give us a kiss, just one little kiss, sweet nurse, please ease my pain. My head is turning, me kneecaps are burning, sweet nurse, I shall burst into flame. No, 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 I've got to go, think what the matron would say. Keep your eyes closed, breathe through your nose, the feeling will soon go away. Oh, give us a kiss, just one little kiss, sweet nurse, please don't be hard. My temples are thumping, my war wound is jumping, I'm bound for the old knacker's yard. No, 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 I've got to go, my medical duty's called. Actually, I shouldn't be in bed with you now at all. The Sultan sat on his oriental mat in his harem in Baghdad, Persia. Took one sip of his coffee, just a drip, and he said to his servant, curse ya, curse ya, curse ya, curse ya. That's the worst cup of coffee in Persia, 'cause all I want is a proper cup of coffee made in a proper cup of coffee pot. I may be off my top, but I want a cup of coffee in a proper cup of pot. I'm coffee pots and tin coffee pots, they're no use to me. If I can't have a proper cup of coffee in a proper cup of coffee pot, I'll have a cup of tea. You got it? I'll listen instead of talking, and then you'll hear it. In days of old, when nights were bold and whiskey was much cheaper, Dick Turpin ran into a coffee shop and he showed his pistol to the keeper. He said, stand and deliver, can't you see I'm all a quiver, 'cause all I want is a proper cup of coffee made in a proper cup of coffee pot. I may be off my top, but I want a cup of coffee in a proper cup of pot. I'm coffee pots and tin coffee pots, they're no use to me. If I can't have a proper cup of coffee in a proper cup of coffee pot, I'll have a cup of tea. When Bonaparte found he was in the cart, 'cause he lost that Waterloo fight, he gave his sword to Wellington the Lord, and he said, you British do fight, sir, now you've won Waterloo, sir, what can I drink with you, sir, 'cause all I want is a proper cup of coffee made in a proper cup of coffee pot. I may be off my top, but I want a cup of coffee in a proper cup of pot. I'm coffee pots and tin coffee pots, they're no use to me. I can't have a proper cup of coffee in a proper cup of coffee pot, I'll have a cup of tea. Oi! All I want is a proper cup of coffee made in a proper cup of coffee pot. I may be off my top, but I want a cup of